I think young people must try different things. I've been through enough in the past 16 years, so for the next 16 years, I just want to pass on this craft slowly and steadily. I think I'm quite lucky because I can turn my lifelong passion into a career. I'm Zhang Tingting, 36 years old. I'm Chuanqing minority. An identified ethnic group in Guizhou. We are not in the 56 nationalities. I specialize in traditional printing and dyeing. You may be more familiar with batik, but in some of Guizhou's ethnic groups, there is also a dyeing technique called douran. It's similar to other dyeing techniques. The only difference is its anti-dyeing method, which uses bean flowers instead of wax, unlike batik.
Is it rapeseed oil?
It's tone oil. Rapeseed oil can resist water, only tone oil can. In the past, the traditional oil paper umbrellas, glass, and walls were coated with tone oil.
Can it block out oxygen and water?
Yes. We need to polish the tablet first, because there are a lot of bumpy spots on its surface. We need to brush tone oil on it and let it dry naturally. Generally, it takes about 2 days for tone oil to dry. The process is rather easy. Just brush it unevenly. We usually need to brush it 4 to 5 times. Actually, Guizhou has a lot of interesting myths. For example, the Han people believe that their ancestors were created one by Nuwa using mud. But in male legends, it was the butterfly mom who created human beings. She fell in love with a water bubble. That's so romantic, right? How could a maple leaf and a bubble fall in love? Then they had a lot of children, including Fuxi, Long, cat, man, women, and many ancestors of the male people. Trio is also included, as well as fish, birds, and other species. In our ethnic group, many related totems are still preserved in the batik or douran we do. The hair accessory of other ethnic minorities are generally more exaggerated and complex. We call it sanbatou, and we often wear a hawk-shaped earring. And our clothing. I'm wearing our traditional dress today. You see, we call it the 3-section dress with 2-section sleeves.
After air drying, it can be directly demolded. We use bean flour to resist dyeing. Many people would ask if there's anything special about this bean flour. Actually, it's just the soybeans and soy milk. Don't add too much or too little water. It needs to be evenly distributed.
It's like making steam buns, right?
Yeah, you see, we stir it evenly. This is a silk scarf. In the past, we used those homespun cloth for dyeing. At that time, we could only go to the local market to sell it ourselves, because online shopping wasn't an option back then. Learning this craft is pretty boring, and you must be really focused. My daughter taught herself a lot of things about the rain. We used to not approve of her learning it, and hoped that she would go to school and find a job. Her life would be more stable and less worrying. But she loved this craft since she was little. She and her elder brother used to dye our clothes and skirts for their dolls. This work is hard and boring. You see, she spends all her time working and cannot go out to play. Many people of her age travel everywhere, especially on weekends. But she is much busier on weekends and doesn't have time to go outside and play. I'm also sad to see her like this. Make sure to evenly spread the bean flour. Fill every part, and pay attention not to spread it too thickly. The pattern needs to be aligned properly, or it won't look good.
I think my family is very tolerant of me, but even now I still think I've let my father down. Before he passed away, his biggest worry was me. He believed that girls should live steadily. If I had completed my university education, I might have been an English teacher in our town now and lived a more stable life. No matter which nationality, they all use indigo plants to dye blue. Indigo is known as malan, or Ivetis root. After harvesting indigo plants, we soak its roots and leaves in clear water for about 7 days until they are completely rotten and covered with bubbles. Then we remove the leaves and add lime. Once the lime will slowly settle to the bottom of the vat, drain off excess water to get the indigo we need. This is indigo, mood dash, and rice wine. Just using these 3 things, we can prepare the dye. But in some places, people don't use wood dash for dyeing. They use honey or some Chinese herbs, and the formula varies for different masters. This is the dyeing vat. Well, we don't catch a good day, so today's color will be slightly inferior compared to sunny days. We need to skim the scum, or there will be a color difference.
I want to choose a simpler pattern.
I prepare many popular patterns, such as little bear and deer, because nowadays people prefer these types. Like this, kids love it.
Ah, Elsa.
Yes, it's Elsa.
Wow. 春早, look at this. Look what I'm doing and who I'm drawing. How about I dye a handkerchief for you with Elsa's picture?
Wow, so cool.
Because of the weather, we need to dry it with a hairdryer today. It usually takes about 2 days for bean flour to dry naturally. If we use hairdryer, the color can't be dyed too dark, or the flour will easily burn. After drying it, we need to soak it in water again to ensure an even dyeing. If you don't completely soak the clothes, for example, if this area stays dry, the resulting color will differ from the surrounding areas noticeably. This dyeing method is a little different. I'm going to dye only this small part. All the rags has been removed. We usually hang the clothes on a rack and dry it so that we don't have to hold it the whole time.
I want to paint it now.
You need to rinse it with water first. You can go straight to the temp. Don't rub it. The color is very light, isn't it?
Yes. Look, my first handkerchief.
The color is a little bad today, mainly because the weather is too cold, and I'm even worried that it might not take the color. If someone is washing vegetables upstream, it's better to wash them downstream. Of course, we can also wash upstream if there is no one using the river water. You can see a lot of floating matter when you put in the water.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
rub it gently. And the bean flour on the surface will easily come off. It's very convenient and doesn't pollute the environment. The water is warm, right? Even the water from the tap is drawn from the well.
Can you see my Elsa?
It's all interconnected. If you carve the template well, but the bean flour mixes off, it won't resist dyeing. If the bean flour is good but dyeing vat is off, the color also won't turn out well. One thing leads to another. Hui Hui,
Oh no, Great Tofu, you can't come down.
there is a first time for everything. It will learn how to calm down by itself, or you need to help it every time. Don't help it. Let it calm down on its own. It's not dangerous.
Hey, Great Tofu. I can't catch you.
This is how the elderly spoil children. You are even spoiling a cat.
Grandma was so worried about that.
Come over here. Let me help you.
Hurry up, don't fall.
This cat seems to be not very bright.
Yes, silly kitty. It always gets itself stuck.
Very cute, you see, it's still testing with its paws, but just won't get past.
It is afraid I'll catch it.
The dish in the pot is also called great tofu. It's also made with goulash.
In our Sichuan, this way of eating should be called iron plate grilling.
In Guizhou, we call it 烙锅.
We like to dip bean flour and chili powder together.
Yeah, the bean flour you use for douran. We like to eat it.
Really? We don't eat like that.
It's the same kind of bean flour as yours. We fry the beans over high heat until crispy, then grind it into powder. Add 5 spice powder, salt, and MSG. You also need to add a popular snack, crispy rice. We grind the crispy rice finely and mix it in.
My 2 older brothers came to me asking for production design. I'm really grateful to them. I feel they are guiding lights in my life. When I was 18, I was still very young then. I really don't know how to do many things. My brother let me run the market. I think this is the most rewarding decision in my life. Running the market and making sales are 2 different things. In the specialty store, the customers come in person with a demand to buy something, then you sell them in the store. On the other hand, we seek our target customers and stores actively. Haven't you 2 now take part in the community competition?
No, we haven't.
At that time, we were really frustrated. I still remember when we went to Lijiang, carrying a lot of handmade products we made ourselves. At that time, I saw that people who were a little better looking might be treated well by others. But when we went to those specialty stores for travelers in Lijiang, they directly said, "Get out of here with your stuff." I stood on the road, holding a bunch of things and crying while talking to my brother on the phone. So now, if someone comes to me to sell products, I will accept their things kindly. I feel life is not easy for everyone, because we will all go through this initial stage. You can see they have put in a lot of efforts. This would be very nice when framed.
We started this embroidery competition at the end of September, and we will award first, second, and third prizes.
Finally, I found that the reason why others were rejecting me so much was my wrong approach. Later, every time I went out, I would put all of our products in the hotel and go to talk about cooperation empty-handed. You will find that it's important to remove others' guard so that everyone can be open and sincere. I still remember how we negotiated our first partnership in Lijiang. The lady boss was in the store. I started chatting with her in a very relaxed way, like asking her how business has been lately. Generally, when the business is good, her mood is also good, and her answer will be cheerful. But if the business is not good, you can tell she's very down by her response. We need to get to know each other. Then try to introduce the product to her and see if she is interested. At that time, the boss felt the products were quite good and asked about their production place. I said they are all from our own factory. Gradually, we have more cooperation. We set up 80% of our specialty stores by working and talking with people sincerely. So it's really a great experience for me. It's fun, right? The main thing is that a large number of people didn't participate. Those who came have never tried in bribery. Actually, it's all about taking part.
It's a pity that many residents didn't join in.
Most of them need to take care of children and the elderly at home. I took a 7-day embroidery course here.
Mrs. Zhang, could you take a look at the shoes I made?
These are the cotton shoes you made by yourself, right? They look good.
I'll bring them over here for you to see.
Okay, bring them here. You did a great job, but the color and the sole need to change. This sole is not durable, and this color is easy to fade. It's definitely going to fade, and it easily catches dust.
Oh, I see.
You can change it, and I can teach you to improve the craft. As some embroidery, I use traditional fabrics. Just make some simple changes over. It's easy to do. Draw some patterns and embroider them on. It will look great. I will be in studio these days. Come and take 2 pieces of fabric. Try it and you will know how it feels.
All right.
Can come tomorrow.
Thank you.
Actually, until now, people who are willing to work in this industry have a common trait. It's all about passion. For our ethnic groups, we never really had to force ourselves to learn this craft, because it's just part of our lives. I happen to really like it, and I want to make a live out of this craft, so I can stick with it. If we come from my childhood, I've been involved in this craft for at least 30 years, and have been considered it as my livelihood for 16 years. The people in this profession are fewer and fewer. Yesterday we went to a resettlement area. It's where the government brings the people from remote areas to form a community and helps them fit into the city life. What I do to these residents is called order-based training. Once they complete the training, they can start production and earn money right away. Yesterday, we went for follow-up, and I provided training for 50 people, but only 11 of them really stuck with it. Most of people couldn't keep doing it, so this industry, you can try to use red or black first, and if that doesn't work well, you can try to use white. It may look nice. In fact, we've been always thinking about the residents' future. They called me Teacher Zhang. Every time someone calls me that, I feel like something is weighing on my shoulder. Now there are 461 embroiderers in the whole Guizhou province, and there might be more soon. They are waiting for me to bring orders every day, and I feel stressed. Teacher means responsibilities, but what should I do in the future? It was okay before, but you know, the situation this year really bad in this industry. I just hope I can continue to give them orders. Back in 2018, I was still in Cali, and Nancy left a deep impression on me. She was nearly 80 years old and walked about 20 kilometers to bring 2 small embroidery pieces. At that time, we bought them for 20 yuan each, so she got 40 yuan. She was so happy and felt very blessed. What can you do with 40 yuan or 20 yuan anyway? It's not even enough for a bowl of noodles or a pack of cigarettes. But for those poor people in remote areas, 40 yuan is what she depends on food for half a month. I can't imagine it. When I came to Guizhou, I just want to set up a studio, a simple personal studio, you know. But after going through all this, I want to help these people and I want to spread this craft. Maybe my child won't learn this in the future, but I still want to find a good student or apprentice. You must pass down in order to carry on.
I'll see myself out. It's very close to my home. I'm regular here. Thanks for having me. Bye.